Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jamie Lee, and I'm joined by my husband, Mr. Jared Lee. Hello, Jared.
Hello.
All right, so I had a question last week where I asked, or last episode, I guess, where I asked, what was the number one ride you wanted to ride when Epic Universe opened? And you picked Super Mario World and going in there and doing like Donkey Kong, right?
Minecart Madness.
Yes. Minecart Madness, yes. Which one are you, I wouldn't say like not wanting to ride, but just like not as excited to ride? Like what could you wait to do like the very last?
Well, I won't ride Starfall Racers.
Oh,
just because I don't do that type of roller coaster. But outside of that one, I mean, it'd be the kiddie ones like Yoshi's Adventure or like Fire Drill over in How to Train Your Dragon. Like I'll do them, but I mean those are family friendly, like kiddie rides sort of. I would say those.
What about like the carousel that's supposed to be in Celestial Park?
I'm looking really forward to that. Actually.
Oh, okay.
I think that one at night. Celestial Park at night in general sounds like it looks sounds good. It looks great, but the concept art and everything about it just looks really cool. And the carousel itself is so unique. Yeah. So I'm actually weirdly excited for a carousel, which sounds strange, but I am. But what about you?
Yeah. I don't know as much about everything that's going in as you do since you cover this all the time, but I'd probably say like that show that's in the Wizarding World, Ministry of Magic, that show in the middle.
The Arcanist thing or whatever.
Yeah, like I don't know if that really appeals to me yet, but I mean, is that technically an attraction?
I mean, it's shows are attractions,
yeah,
I suppose.
I
think the issue with the Wizarding World land is the land itself is based off of the Fantastic Beasts.
Right.
I saw one of those movies. I don't really care much about that.
Yeah.
And I think they know that, obviously, because Battle at the Ministry is based off of the original Harry Potter characters, which is what everybody knows. So I imagine, though, like it'll be very well done regardless. So I'm sure the show will be good. I just don't know anything about the stuff that they've mentioned that'll be in it, like some of the Fantastic Beasts and things. I can't speak to, so I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, I would say probably that show as well. I'm just sort of just like, okay, we'll see.
Okay. Well, good to know. Well, we are going to talk about some news. Some of it is involving Epic Universe, but some other butterbeer things and whatnot. And we do have some Mardi Gras things we're going to talk about as well. But first, we have some housekeeping we want to cover, and I'm going to throw it over to Jared.
And I will try not to cough during this. And if I do cough, you won't notice it because it gets cut out.
That's true. So thanks for telling us that you'll cough.
Maybe I will, and maybe I probably will. Yes, if you are watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not watching us on YouTube and you would like to, we have video versions of the show over on YouTube at CTM Podcast that you can check out there. And of course, if you're listening on good old trusty audio podcast form that has been around, I believe, before the Fantastic Beasts movies take place in the 1920s. I think it's been around since then. Old-timey radio. You can subscribe on whatever major platforms are out there. We're on those. Just ask you to please subscribe and leave us a review, as we would greatly appreciate that. Helps us continue to grow the show. And of course, if you want some great theme park apparel, some comfortable shirts, some shirts for Universal Studios and Epic Universe coming up, if you're going to visit the parks, you can check out Capture the Magic Apparel over at ctmapparelco.com. We have some brand new shirt releases in there. We'll have some new ones coming up. As we get closer to Epic Universe, there will be some Epic Universe specific shirts that will be coming out as well. We print them on very comfortable shirts, like next level, 60 cotton, 40 poly blend type shirts. We have 100% cotton shirts in the comfort colors. We have hoodies, sweatshirts, whatever you want, we will print them on. Very high quality prints. Everything's printed in-house and shipped out to you. And for a limited time now, you can get 20% off of your order by using the code EPIC, since a lot of Epic Universe stuff is coming out. So we'll just use the promo code EPIC, and you get 20% off of your order. Plus, if you order $50 or more, you get free shipping on your order as well. So you can go check out some great theme park apparel. It helps, if you want to contribute to the show, it's a great way to do that as well and get something nice in return and look snazzy doing it, as the kids say. Yeah. I think that's what the kids say now.
Do they?
Or they said it in the 20s. I don't know. Or both. It's probably come full circle at this point. But either way, ctmapparelco.com is where you go and use the promo code EPIC to get 20% off of your order. So,
all right, thank you. I do want to mention, when you say the 20s, You meant the 1920s, but technically we are in the 20s.
Are you just trying to hurt me?
I'm just saying it's crazy. I mean, like, we're in the 20s. Like, in 50 years, people are going to be like, oh, back in the 20s. They're going to say 2020s.
I don't know why you're being mean.
I'm just realizing something.
I think
and it's
everybody
crazy.
knew what I was talking about.
I know.
And if they didn't, then why are you also being mean?
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to point something out. Anyway.
Time's a cruel mistress.
It is. Let's move on to news. Okay, we've got a couple of Epic Universe news type things. First one is that this is kind of rumory, kind of not, because a bunch of people have been saying this, but it looks like the major construction part of Epic Universe is almost finished, and park operations are going to start taking over as early as this weekend.
I don't think it's really rumory.
I know.
Listen, I have sources. Well, I don't really have sources. I have people that message me things from time to time. I have no way to know the validity of what they're saying, but I will say the few people that have messaged me all are saying the same thing, which is essentially before this rumor kind of got started, a few of them did reach out and say, hey, be on the lookout. You'll hear about previews coming up, like starting very, very soon. And the rumor being, that park operations are going to take over as they prepare for essentially like staged or phased previews for team members, starting with leadership and then going into, lower tiered team members and things, starting on a land by land basis. And then it would go into like a full preview for the full park. And then during this time period, it's not that construction will be done. Like, it is wrapping up. I'm working on the finishing touches on a construction video now. I mean, they're very, very close at the end. I mean, freestyle machines are getting installed.
Oh my gosh.
So lots of the signage is going up. Like,
So
there's
exciting.
a lot of the final, stages of things are getting there. Some lands definitely need a lot more work than other ones. Like Celestial Park definitely has some, they have some stuff they need to catch up with. But they did say that part of it would be that essentially construction would happen at night while previews happen during the day. So more than likely, I think Celestial Park would be the last land, even though it's a central part, that would have like a full preview while work on that continues. So they'll start the previews even though the full park isn't quite done, and whatever work is left, they'll basically do at night. I think the way to go for it. And then obviously once the team members start, then after that, you'll have annual pass holder previews, which I do, the big rumor I've been hearing for months is there'll be multiple months of AP previews. And that timing seems to, if they're starting team member previews in February, you've got February, March, April, that's a lot of time to run through your previews with your team members and your annual pass holders.
Yeah.
So it does give ample time for that, which I think the park needs, train team members and, really run the park through its paces before it opens up to the general public. So It seems like all those rumors and things I've been hearing from a lot of the same people have been pretty dead on with that.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited. It's getting closer.
Yes, I'm. Yeah, it's kind of wild, but I'm very excited to eventually get in there and check it all out.
Yeah, and also they showed us some of the How to Train Your Dragon costumes for team members. So that was kind of like a glimpse into a little bit more information about Epic Universe, which they look pretty cool.
They look very How to Train Your Dragon-y.
They do.
This is very
They
true.
do. Universal also announced some interactive wands that are coming to the Ministry of Magic area. And I forgot the shop that it's called that they will be at, but they look pretty colorful and they'll be interactive, which means that like you can use them in the windows and the spots like you do over in Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley. And they haven't really said much about like who they are, like who they are paired with or whatever, but they're actually pretty colorful, which I was surprised at.
The wand shop is Cosme Ecajor Baguettes Magique.
Okay,
It
good job trying that.
Right off the tongue. Did I get it wrong?
No, I think it was just very Americanized.
It's not as easy to say as Ollivanders.
True. That is true. That is very
I
true.
don't know why we went from Ollivanders to apparently a 4-word phrase for the wand shop.
Can we just call it Cosme?
I think most people probably will.
Cosme? I'm just going to call it Cosme.
I like that there's baguettes in there. I don't know why. There's bread involved here, but
Okay.
I like baguettes.
Okay, well, we'll see about that.
It's always I'm imagining Magique is French for magic.
Yes.
I feel like my nickname should be Magique.
Magique. The last thing about Epic we're going to talk about today is that there were some new Super Bowl ads that came out over the Super Bowl, because we're recording this on Monday, the day after the Super Bowl, and they showed some more glimpses of Dark Universe and all the lands, and that was pretty cool.
Well, they had one ad. It ran after the Super Bowl. It was like before the post-game thing. I don't know if it was different than the ones they'd ran before.
There's nothing groundbreaking information or anything.
It's pretty, I mean, if you've seen the other ads, they're all very much the same.
It's just very exciting.
Showing that thing. But yeah, the fact that they ran a Super Bowl ad was something I expected them to do, and obviously it's going to help get the name out there and everything like that. So they did put aside, I know there's $150-ish million for marketing budget for Epic Universe. They've talked about that multiple times.
Is that a lot?
I don't know. Well, for a theme park, I don't know. We haven't had a theme park open in 25 years, and the marketing budgets are way higher now than they were back then. It's pretty much in line with what you would see with a movie budget. Most movie budgets, at least the bigger movies, are going to be $100 to $150 million. So I think that's pretty much in line, except for the fact that a theme park has way more earning potential than a movie, considering that theme parks, can make money in perpetuity, essentially, where a movie's got a very limited time it's going to make money. So, I mean, I don't think they've spent it all yet. I think they're going to probably ramp them up quite a bit.
Oh, for sure.
Between now and in May, for sure.
For sure. And then also, the Starbucks inside Epic Universe is open for team members that are currently in the park working.
I like the pause you put in there. As if you could just walk in now.
You cannot go in unless you are there
Sir,
on purpose.
the park is closed. But I just want to go to Starbucks. Like, oh, well, come on in. Just walk right around.
I just think that's the first thing that actually opened. It's hilarious to me. Starbucks.
Yeah, they even showed pictures inside with like team members working it and things like that. I just will say that is the spot that I said months ago was the Starbucks. I was like, this is the Starbucks location. Now there's actually a Starbucks little sign above it too.
You knew it.
Well, I think it was in the permits, but it's kind of nice to be like, I knew I was right.
You did it.
But it is open.
Nice.
So yeah, I will say I do know. I mean, covering Epic Universe, people talk to you. There is somebody who does work security around Epic Universe, and he had messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey, not that you would, but like, don't try and sneak in. And I was like, I have no intentions of doing that. And he said it's somebody around the Stella Nova opening had gotten in as close as to like Helios. And then they had to ask them to leave nicely. I guess nicely. I don't know if they had to force them out, but
what is wrong with people?
Honestly, it's like if you're a vlogger and people, they just want that first scoop, I guess. I don't know. It's not something I would dare try.
No.
I don't like interacting with the police more than I have to. I don't want to willingly do that.
Yeah.
Just be like, yes, please arrest me at this highly secure, theme park construction project. I would like to be arrested, please. I feel like that's what you're saying.
Right, exactly. Like, that's so silly. Like, don't do that, people.
Yeah. So if you're planning on doing that, don't do that.
You know what you should do? You should go over to where the Transformers meet and greet is and meet Optimus Prime and Bumblebee together.
That's a nice segue.
Thank you. It's happening now, I guess. I don't know if it's happening all the time, but I know that they're meeting together sometimes, which is kind of cool.
I like Optimus and Bumblebee together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they should team up on Megatron.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't all three of them out there be really weird? Like, why are we all being nice?
I feel like they should, have a little fight outside. I mean, if I'm being honest, one thing I would love, this will probably never happen. I would love more Transformers in the parks, but I would love to like relaunch the Transformers movies with like Generation 1 type of Transformers.
Okay.
And within those, you get Soundwave. And then you have the meet and greet with those types of Transformers and Soundwave involved. I would be on board.
That's great. I don't know if that'll happen, but
it probably never will. But Soundwave is the one. See, this is why it won't happen probably, is because Soundwave was the one that had the cassette tape as a chest. And then out of the cassette tape would come a pterodactyl, which is double awesome.
How would they do that now?
I mean, you could do it. They did it in the Bumblebee movie. In the first part, they were fighting on Cybertron, and he was in it, and he goes, Decepticons attack. And I was like, oh my gosh. But he doubles as a boombox, so.
Well, that's what I want in my Transformer.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it'll probably never happen, but. I can
right.
dream.
Yes, you can. And the last thing we'll talk about news-wise this episode is that butterbeer season is coming this year, March 1st through May 31st. And it's kind of like it was last year. Like last year, they kind of did this where they had a few extra treats that were released and it wasn't a huge deal. But this year is a little bit different because it reaches beyond the parks. So they're going to have butterbeer products like butterbeer goldfish, butterbeer Hershey Kisses. They are cream, like cream soda filled, popcorn, cookies, nail polish items, collector's mugs, handbags, stationery, etc. And it just sounds weird. That's like butterbeer, but like butterbeer is basically like butterscotch and like cream soda.
Basically, the Hershey Kisses ones sound good. I like
Yeah.
cream filled things, so
Yes.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah, and there'll also be multiple butterbeer themed events happening basically like in London and Asia and US, like everywhere. So it's going to be a big thing. And I mean, I'm a fan of butterbeer. My favorite is probably the frozen butterbeer. But I just love it. I just love it so much.
I think
love
my
the flavor.
favorite is actually the ice cream.
Ice cream. We just had the ice cream too.
It's really good.
Like last weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. I love it.
And they're going to have, I don't know when it opens, but they are going to have that butterbeer stand out in City Walk.
Yeah.
So I would
Yeah.
assume that is going to be going on in City Walk as well.
Oh, that place is going to be so packed all the time.
Oh, it's going to be, I mean, right when you walk into City Walk.
Is it just going to be like a cart like it is in the...
I think there's a counter.
Okay.
I think. I'm
Okay.
not really sure. I know they're building the Super Nintendo store that where Billabong was and all that stuff, and where what's it, Cinnabon, where those were taken out for Super Nintendo World Store. But I don't know exactly where the butterbeer stuff is going, but I do know there's going to be some sort of butterbeer place on City Walk.
Well, good to know. That'll be good. But yeah. So anyway, butterbeer season's coming this spring, basically. So, all right. Let's transition over to, we're talking about Mardi Gras, International Flavors of Carnival. So a little more information about that. That is a festival that runs every year at Universal Studios Florida. It runs February 1st through March 30th this year. And this is the 30th anniversary, actually.
It's true.
30 years of this. So it's actually, I mean, it's changed in how like much they do within the festival. But yeah, this year's interesting. So during the festival, they have decorations, they have festival food booths, they have merchandise, they have parade, and they have a concert series that they do for the time that they do the festival.
You could have saw T-Pain and Joe Jonas.
That's right. That's right. I guess we can talk about the concert series first then. So we're going to go into that.
I tried so hard to see Joe Jonas. I just couldn't get in.
Yeah. So this concert series is actually pretty popular. The T-Pain one was insane. Like people were lining up at like 8:30. Joe Jonas was last weekend and it was also insane. People were again lining up super early. The next couple of performers we've got Kool and the Gang, Juanes, Scotty McCreery, Foster the People, Illenium, All Time Low, Lawrence, Coco Jones, DJ Pauly D, and TLC. Those are the ones that are left for...
TLC's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen them perform it live.
Is it? I mean, is it all the members except for Left Eye?
It's just Left Eye's not there. I think it's just Tabaz and Chili.
Oh, it's only 3 of them. That's right.
Yeah.
They never replaced Left Eye.
I don't think, unless they did. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't really know. But I think it's kind of cool that they're doing that. But anyway, so that's performed in the Music Plaza stage, which is like right by Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket at 8:30, and you just have to line up early and get your spot. I mean, it's included with admission. So
yeah.
It's
a big nope for me.
big note for Jared.
The crowds that are involved with that stuff, I'm just like, no. I'm already not a big concert person to begin with. Waiting in those lines in the crowds, I'm just like, I would not. But years ago, we did see Aretha Franklin.
Diana Ross.
Pardon me.
Close.
Yeah,
close. Yeah, we actually reviewed that. It was in 2022. So if you are curious about our full review of that, you can go back and listen to that episode. But it's fun. I mean, it's fun if you have anybody you're interested in seeing, then this is a good way to do it, and it's included with admission, so much cheaper than some other ways.
You just have to pay with your time.
Pay with your time
and fight for your spot.
That is true. So, okay, so we are going to talk about some of the food booths that they have for the carnival. Now they've got, I want to say it's 15 this year, which they did decrease the amount that they offer this year. Last year I think they had like 10 more. But they don't have as many items within each booth, and they're more clumped together in certain sections. It was just a little bit different than it usually was. So we just tried a couple things.
I think that is a good move for this festival.
Yeah.
The way they did that. Now, the other side of it, which we'll talk about, I wasn't a fan of another part that they sort of changed, but I do think having a little less booths, more centralized together is good.
Yeah.
For the festival, because before they were almost also strung out everywhere. You couldn't hardly find them if you wanted to find them sometimes.
Spread out a lot. Yeah.
So I feel like this is a little bit more concentrated, and you didn't have too much going on. And I will say the speed of the food coming out has gotten better over the years, so that part was also good.
Now we came on the second day it was open, and that was a Sunday. So I don't know if that had anything to do with like it just getting all the first day jitters out and things were running more smoothly. I don't know, but.
I don't know that. Yeah.
So let's talk about the first one we did. We went to Colombia. And what do we have there, Jared?
We got the chicken empanadas. They were $8.99 a piece. And these are crispy corn masa chicken empanadas with ají picante.
So yeah, these were tiny. This
is an ongoing theme. The portion sizes on everything were incredibly small. And while most of the prices also went up.
As they do.
Shrinkflation being real here.
For real.
To the point, though, I mean, the size of these was almost laughable that they were essentially $4.50 a piece.
When he handed me them, I was like, oh, these are so small.
Like,
There's only 2 of them.
They were good.
Yeah.
Most of the things we had were good, but the sheer size of it was just a lot left to be desired.
Yeah. It makes you think of the cheeseburger spring rolls over at Magic Kingdom. Those are essentially the same amount per spring roll. And look how much more you're getting.
So and I've always said that's a terrible value for what you're getting, but that was a much better value than these. Yeah, I will give it that.
They were good though, but I mean, you're done with them in like 2 bites.
Oh, I mean,
so
it's a single bite easily.
Yeah, like it was good, but it's just 3 would have been better. Let's just put 3 in there, guys. Just put 3 in there.
Agreed.
But we tried that over Colombia, and then we went over to Taste of the Quarter, and we had to get the quintessential Mardi Gras food.
That would be beignets. These were $7.50. These again are sweet fried pastry with powdered sugar. Mm-hmm. These weren't a terrible value. They were more expensive than last year. But there were
50 cents.
Yeah, but they're still very good. And you got, what do you get, 6 in there?
No, you only got 4.
Was that all it was for?
So it only got 4. But they were the same size as they were last year. Okay. So they didn't change the size.
They were decent sized at least, but they were really good.
Yeah. That's one of the better things we had this day, I think. I think we both agreed. We're like, oh, we can get some more of these.
Yeah.
But yeah, regular beignets, just like normal. We also went to Puerto Rico, and we had a word that I cannot pronounce. Go for it, Jared.
Pinchos de lechon?
Lechon? Sure.
Lechon?
No.
Lechon?
Lechon.
I don't know. Something.
Lechon.
It was char grilled pork.
Yeah.
That's what they just
pork shoulder.
Sorry, pork shoulder.
Yes.
It was on a skewer with guava barbecue sauce and pan sobo.
Sobao.
I'm terrible. Mm-hmm. I am so sorry about these. And these were $10.99.
Yeah, the skewer, a single skewer.
Not a lot on the skewer. Mm-hmm. Kind of tough. Wasn't the best.
It was a little tough.
Not the best I've had.
I like the flavor though.
The flavor with the sauce was good.
Yeah.
The cut of meat was questionable, I think. It was
a lot of fat. It was a little fatty.
I didn't mind the fat as much, but it was just where it wasn't fat, it was just like overly tough.
Okay.
But it did have good flavor. But
yeah, the flavor was nice.
You didn't get a lot for basically $11.
Yeah. That was hard to stomach for $11, to be honest.
Yeah.
Still good though. The next one we went to is Germany, and we got the Apfelstrudel.
Strudel. It was $4.99. This is a flaky pastry layers wrapped around sliced apple filling. Again, this was very good.
Very simple.
Just tiny.
Small.
Like the littlest, tiniest slice of it.
Yep.
It did have a good sauce with it. It was almost like a vanilla pudding-like sauce, sort of, but it wasn't really pudding. It was something like that.
Tons of cinnamon. Did you get a lot of cinnamon on your bites? Because I did.
Yeah, it was very cinnamon.
A lot of cinnamon,
Yeah.
but I like cinnamon, so I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
it was decent. Again, could have been bigger.
Agreed.
Yep. And then okay, I'm gonna skip China. I'm going to talk about that one last. But we also checked out the Coca-Cola Market Square, which was just basically drinks, I think. And we went for Bananas Foster's Fizz.
Yes, this had Cruisin'.
I don't know. I'm
Gosh,
terrible
these
with drinks.
It had aged dark rum, Planetary OFTD rum,
Sure.
Bowls Creme
Creme
de banana, and Barks cream soda.
Yep.
This was these were mixed drinks that they made, they weren't pre-made, which was nice.
Not these they weren't.
These weren't. A lot of the other places it was pre-made. At this current one, at Coca-Cola Market Square, these are all made in front of you. This was, I think we paid $13.50.
Did you get an AP discount with this?
Not with alcohol, you don't.
Okay.
You don't with alcohol, but you could get a souvenir mug if you wanted to, but we didn't do that.
Right. So $13.50 if you just get a single 12-ounce serving. If you do the souvenir cup, it's $16.50. Yeah. What did you think of this?
I thought it was delicious. You didn't like it as much as I thought you would.
I didn't as much. It wasn't as sweet as I was expecting. I think I was expecting a sweeter drink, but you really liked it. You could tell it wasn't pre-made, by the way. You could tell.
Yeah. No, I thought it was really good, and like you had, rum is a sweeter alcohol anyways.
Yeah.
So I would get it again. It's very sweet to me for a mixed drink.
Me and cream soda, I'm just not a fan.
I think
of
it was the cream
soda.
soda you didn't like.
It's like that and root beer and blah.
I love cream soda. So
there you go. Well, Jared got it for himself. I'm just kidding. We shared it. I drank some of it.
I thought it was one of the better drinks I've had. So.
Yeah. And then we went to China.
Oh, China.
And it was either between what we got and a duck dumpling.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so we went with the things that we got, which was the spicy Saskatchewan chicken bites.
Yes, this was $11.99, and these are crispy pieces of chicken with white rice, sesame seeds, and how do you say that again? Saskatchewan chili crunch. Mm-hmm. It's like a chili oil kind of on it. Mm-hmm. It was
weird,
a weird texture, but it was very, very spicy. I will just say, if you do not like spicy things, do not get this because it's way spicier than you would anticipate. I'm okay with spicy stuff, but as it lingered, it would build. And then by the end of it, though, it left a weird mouthfeel.
Yes.
And a weird taste in your mouth.
Yes. And I don't know, is that normal?
I have no idea. It was very odd because as it sat there longer and like I took a couple of drinks of things, I'm sitting there and like, it was the heat really wasn't building much, but this weird aftertaste and like it just left a strange like feeling in your mouth. And this was the point where I was just like, let's go get some ice cream or something, because I feel like that was the best thing to sort of like get rid of that taste. And that did help, but until we had the ice cream, like it was probably a good 30 minutes between that and the ice cream, and it just sat there. It was a very odd tasting dish. I would not recommend it. I didn't think it was worth $12. And again, it wasn't a big portion size.
How many pieces did we get?
I mean, there was probably 8 pieces, but they were very thin pieces. So it was a lot of batter and crisp that you were getting, not a lot of chicken necessarily.
A little bit of rice. Yeah, I think I've had Saskatchewan flavor like chili before. And I don't remember it tasting like this. Anyway, it was just not a good pick for us because obviously it did not sit well with us. And you're right, that aftertaste, like after it was spicy and you got a drink and whatever, it was just like this lingering aftertaste that I can't explain what it tasted like. It's something I've never like tasted before.
I've never
don't know
really
what it
experienced
was.
it either. I've never had a dish just sort of linger around
I know.
that long. I've had spicy stuff, like obviously like that can hang out a bit
Yeah.
and build. It wasn't the spiciness. That went away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It was just this, yeah, it was just a very odd thing. And it made my
very
mouth feel very,
Uncomfortable.
like I just had a bit, like
Yeah.
a lot. Like you just had to keep doing it. It was very weird.
Very weird.
I'd never experienced it before.
Yeah. So we do not recommend that if you are not a spicy person or want any kind of aftertaste like that. Don't get
Or
it.
normal chicken.
Don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also other booths that we did not have a chance to try. Like they have France, they have Mexico, which we did have Mexico last year, and we had all the stuff last year, so we didn't do that one again. Canada had some new items. There's like 2 or 3 other just food booths or drink booths, if you will. But yeah, so we had a couple things, and so I mean, for the most part, I believe like you said, shrinkflation is very real with these festivals, where it's just you pay a little bit more and they get a little bit smaller. So
I feel like the portion sizes have gotten. It's almost. I will
almost
say it was
laughable.
almost laughable and almost criminal how little you were getting for what you were paying.
yeah,
And on some level, I think they're trying to push people to do They have the Universal Orlando Resort food and beverage card.
yeah.
So if you're not an AEP, you can get it. You pay $65 and you get $75 worth of food credit that you
Yeah.
can use at the booths. If you're an AP holder, you can get one that is essentially you pay
It's 120.
$120 and you get
Yeah.
$150 worth.
Yeah.
But you can also, on each time that you go purchase a dish, you still get your AP discount. So
Right.
you can stack a discount on here to make this cheaper. I kind of feel like that's what they're trying to get people to do.
Yeah.
I still don't like it,
Yeah.
but I still think if you're going to charge that amount, like there should be more food you're getting than
Just yeah.
the very little in the portions that they were giving out.
I agree, and they kind of, like we we're saying earlier, like they just kind of scaled back offerings with the food booths, and even with the merchandise we'll talk about in a second. So yeah, it's just different kind of feel.
I mean,
this year.
sometimes Universal with food, like, I mean, we talked about people
Yeah.
go at Disney a lot on their pricing on food and different things. And while it is high, I mean, you go to like SeaWorld is shockingly expensive on food, as is like minor league baseball games, pro baseball games, things like that. Universal is usually pretty much in line with Disney. Sometimes though, like the pretzel over there in DreamWorks Land, the Shrek pretzel, what's that thing, like almost $14?
Yeah, it was like 13.
Like there's a few
Yeah.
items here and there where you're just like, whoa, like what in the world? Like it's a pretzel.
Yeah.
So I feel like
novelty.
sometimes they're feeling out that ceiling of like where they can go on food pricing.
Right.
But I will say the food quality has gotten better.
Yeah.
Like it's more consistent for the most part.
I'll agree with that. It is more consistent.
It's more
for
consistent,
sure.
and it does come out quicker than it has in years past. So like on
So
that,
the food lines weren't that long though.
but
this
even
day.
the ones that were decently long, they did get moved through pretty quickly.
I guess so.
I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, I mean, some of those times you were waiting 20 minutes.
oh gosh, yes.
I mean, it was bad. So they
Yeah.
have improved on that. Where they have not gotten better is on the quantity you're getting.
Right.
So I definitely think they should do better on that end. But the other stuff, they do seem to be making improvements on.
yes.
So
Yes. All right, moving on from food, we'll talk about the Tribute Store, which the Tribute Store theme this year was Legends of the Bayou. It was a museum and a gift shop. Now, this is the location that used to be the Mega Video Rental one. It was like the summer retro Tribute Store. So they closed that finally and put the Mardi Gras Tribute Store in here. And it's kind of themed to, I mean, it's supposed to be like a museum with like creatures from the bayou, basically. Is that how to explain it?
pretty much.
There's a room where it looks like you're on a boat dock, which I thought was kind of cool.
Little shots taken at Disney in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, there's some. It was like a look in a window kind of. What was that again? Like you push a button and you can see like almost a diorama
Yeah.
inside of it.
They had a Yeti in one of them, and you could see a little yellow Post-it note that said something about call Joe
for parts.
Or what was the other option it had?
I don't remember the
It was
other
something
one
about like make it flash or something.
Yeah.
So there, little subtle jabs. I thought it was kind of funny.
Which is referring to Expedition Everest with the Yeti that's been broken forever, and Joe would be Joe Rohde. So if you're unfamiliar with that. But anyway, so, they have the decorations, and they've got merchandise kind of all scattered out. And the merchandise it doesn't really change much over the years. Like, just pretty similar. Similar colors.
The Mardi Gras stuff does. Well, Mardi Gras just has its color scheme in general.
Right.
A lot of purples and yellows and golds.
Yeah.
So,
they do have a gator shoulder plush now.
They do. And they also have a gator popcorn bucket if you want to get that.
Yeah. So they do have that kind of novelty stuff like that. But yeah, it's cool. I didn't get anything. I didn't buy anything this time. They do have a freestyle mug for Mardi Gras as well, and it's cool. There's one with a handle, which people say don't get because it leaks really bad. Just FYI.
Okay.
But yeah, so lots of merchandise you can choose from.
Yeah, I always say with Mardi Gras too, it's my I enjoy Mardi Gras, but it's probably the least popular tribute store they do, I would assume.
Yeah, Halloween Horror Nights is pretty popular.
That one is, and I think depending on the summer theme, that one can be popular. Obviously, you have Christmas as well.
What do you think this summer? Oh, I know. Would it be Jaws? Because it's the 50th anniversary this year.
They kind of done Jaws a little bit with the retro stuff the last few summers, though.
Well, they did retro, but they did that with Jurassic Park too.
Yeah, I don't know what they'll do.
Oh, it could be Jaws.
It could be
50th. I don't know.
They could just tap right back into going retro yet again.
Maybe. People love it.
They already did say they're doing the summer parade again, the Great Movie Parade.
It's coming back.
So if they're doing that again, they could do some sort of other retro themed, tribute store.
Yeah, that's a good point. Speaking of parades, there is a Universal Mardi Gras parade, which is probably the most fun parade I've ever seen.
Yeah, for parades, it's the most interactive. You can have things thrown at you.
Yes, but the floats are fantastic.
They are really good.
They're fantastic. So this is the 30th anniversary. So there's 6 new floats this year. And unfortunately, we really haven't seen them up close very well because we were in the parade when we saw it on the 2nd of February because we got to do the float riding.
We did.
Which we've done a couple of years in a row now. I think 3 or 4 years now.
I think this is the 3rd year in a row.
3rd year?
I think.
Okay. And yeah, so only annual pass holders are allowed to do this.
Yeah. So, it's a nice perk for annual pass holders. You can either sign up ahead of time or the day of walk up and get into a virtual queue. Yeah, and
it's changed a little bit with the virtual queue this year, but if you're not an annual pass holder, it doesn't matter. You can also do a float and dine experience where you can pay $80 a person to have a meal and ride on the float, which we've never done because I don't know. That's kind of a lot of money to spend to ride the float.
Agreed.
But yeah, so float riding, they assign you to a particular float, and they have you get dressed up in, what do they call it? Just like I
think they just call them gowns.
Okay. And so you wait, you go backstage.
Well, they assign you to a specific boat, which has a specific color. Mm-hmm. You have a specific team leader. And then you sit in a specific area.
Say specific one more time.
Specific area of the bleachers where you await further instruction, and then they group you specific groups together, and you get on your float, essentially.
Yeah. They go through the rules, how to throw, kind of, where the halfway point is, all the spiel, and really, like, it's the energy is insane because once you get out there and the music it's loud, there's the confetti goes off. Mm-hmm. People are just screaming and have their hands out because they want the beads, and so you're just throwing the beads and you're trying not to hit anybody in the face. Which it will happen. You will hit somebody.
Oh no! If they're calling for beads, it's not. If they can't catch it, it's on them.
Yeah.
I was hitting hands. I was making a game out of it. Hands weren't moving.
Yeah.
Beads were going into the hands. I was like,
go.
I want a way to track the accuracy because I feel like I would have been above 50%.
I will say my accuracy has gotten better this year, Like
Yeah.
it has gotten better because I think I'm just getting more used to it. I did hit a lady in the face, but to be fair, she turned because she was trying to catch another bead for her kid. And she just didn't see mine. And I was already in motion. I was like, no.
Got to keep your head on a swivel out there.
So it happened. But it was fun like always. We were in the Bayou float.
Yeah, actually, that's our first. We've always done riverboat.
Always done riverboat.
So we were actually very glad to have a different boat. I will say, I think being a smaller boat, because it was a smaller boat than the other ones.
Yeah.
I think we had less beads. Because this is the first
It
year
was.
I actually ever ran out of beads.
We completely ran out. Yeah.
And they actually didn't, our girl, she was actually really cool. I forget her name. Michelle. She was the one
Yep.
that was our leader on the boat.
How did I remember that?
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm terrible with names, so I'm glad you
Okay.
did.
Well.
She was good, but it's the first time usually they'll tell you like pace yourself if you get hit, whatever. And
She didn't do.
she was reloading and then never really said like, hey, this is it. So I ran out of beads by, I'd say 3/4 of the way. I was just completely out, which is fine. I mean, it was fine, but.
Yeah, well, because we really didn't know how many like you said, we didn't know how many we had to work with, and we know where the halfway point is, but there was couldn't gauge it very
there was
well.
no way
It
to
was
gauge.
fine.
Like if I had a pile, I could have gauged it of like, oh, we've got this much left. Let's whatever. But yeah, it was fun. That you get to throw them out to people. I try and hit the people in the back. Maybe normally don't get beats.
It was
I
fun.
will say your
It was fun.
arm, like your bicep,
Oh yeah.
it'll start screaming at you a little bit if you're not used to
yeah.
doing that frisbee motion, consecutively like that. But it was a good time. It's always a good time.
It's so fun. If you can do it, if you're an AP or you can arrange to do it, I highly recommend it every year.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean,
Gotta do
again,
it.
you get part of the parade. It's not often you're able to be part of a parade like that.
Yeah.
So
And if you're gonna watch the parade, keep your hands up, keep your head up.
very true.
for those beads. And our kids, like, they love it too. They love catching the beads. Our daughter. Whew.
Oh yeah.
And this is the first year our son can do it because he's tall enough. So next time the kids go with us, we're gonna try to get them to do it.
I feel like he's just gonna want to keep the beads,
That's okay. We'll help him. It'll be so cute.
or they'll throw it once and be like, I like throwing things at people.
He does.
Now, I guess one nice perk, you do get to go backstage. The downside to it is it's not really that interesting back there.
Not really.
It just looks
No.
like a lot of trash compactors,
Well,
lots of employee areas.
if you've ever been back, done Halloween Horror Nights, you've seen backstage.
True.
So
True.
it's not a shocker for a lot of it, but you get to see the performers before they go out for the parade. They're just warming up and chilling out.
I will say the team members have been year after year, they've always been great. Like
Yeah.
very welcoming and friendly and nice. And
Yeah.
nobody is like, I've never seen anybody have like an attitude. Even the people that sit there, like somebody will escort you back once you're off the floats. Like they're always very cordial and nice. So it's a nice experience, especially for
sure.
It's a nice annual pass holder perk yet again of something that they do for the APs.
I love it. But do you want to mention anything else about Mardi Gras? I mean, we were only there for, I don't even know, 5 or 6 hours.
We weren't there a long time. I mean,
No.
I enjoy Mardi Gras. It's fun. I think it is the food festival portion. Like we said, it's gotten better in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
I was very underwhelmed with the portion sizes, but overall as a festival, I think it's more balanced in terms of how many booths, how much food options are at each one.
Yeah.
It's not too little. It's not too much.
Yeah. There is nothing Mardi Gras over in Islands of Adventure.
No.
I should have mentioned. They have done that in the
I
past.
was gonna say, in the past, they've had it on City Walk too.
Yeah. Nothing on Sunny Walk as
Yeah.
well.
I think
They do have merchandise out there, but
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
think they've kind of figured out their little, keep it on studios, and they've kind of figured out how many to have and things.
Yeah.
The part I have no interest in is the concert part of it, which some people may
Yeah.
have a lot of interest in. It just comes down to what you want to do. But
Yeah.
getting out after a concert party, at night when they do have a concert going on, is an absolute madhouse.
Yeah.
So it's not something I just looked at the pictures of that and I was like, that's a big nope from me. But it's a lot of fun. It is. And it's especially it's not too hot right now. So in the evenings, it's kind of nice and you're up on the float and you got a little breeze going and yeah, it's like a little party. It's a really good time. It's a fun festival. And hopefully they continue to improve upon it. Portion
Yeah.
sizes bigger, please.
Yes, please.
Maybe prices down a little as
Yes,
well.
please.
If we're asking for things, that as well.
That would be great.
And no Saskatchewan chicken.
Yeah, hard pass on that next time. So
Yeah, just skip that one.
All right. Well, that's all we have to talk about for the episode today.
Yeah.
So, follow us on social media. We're on Twitter. Well, X, I guess. I always say Twitter. I'm going to say Twitter for the rest of my life, I swear. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're Cap the Magic everywhere. So please follow us over there. And we're the Capture the Magic community on Facebook. So you'll have to ask to join that group over there. And we're also on YouTube. We got 2 channels over there. One is Jared's, where he talks about all the stuff.
Yes, that's at Captain Magic. I'm going to have a construction video update for Epic Universe this week. I was under the weather last week.
Yes, he was.
Still getting over whatever the heck I had.
Yes, he is.
So, guys, you'll notice you didn't hear any coughing.
No.
I didn't cough one bit during this episode.
Jamie's cutting it all out.
What are you talking about? I didn't cough.
Well, okay, sure.
You're supposed to go along with the bits to make the bits work.
Totally. Yep.
My very supportive wife here, annoyed at my coughing during this episode.
I'm the one that has to cut it. Just whatever.
I told you I would do it.
No.
I'm the one
It's
causing
fine.
all the interruptions.
I'm the producer.
But yes, I was delayed with getting that out because I was unable. I didn't do anything for 3 days because I just laid in my bed.
Okay.
But yeah, there'll be an Epic Universe construction update coming out this week as the construction nears completion, and then we'll have a lot of Epic Universe coverage, and then I think we're going to do some. We'll do some on this podcast as well, but like some different methods, maybe of like rope dropping on the park, like which ways potentially could be get you the potential to ride the most stuff and things like that. So
yeah,
which is kind of fun because obviously nobody knows because nobody's been in the park yet and things like that. So
yeah,
but yeah, that's over at Cap the Magic. Then of course you want video versions of the show. That's over at CTM Podcast on YouTube, where you can check video versions of the show over there.
And also, don't forget to check out some other shows on the network. We've got the Disney show we do on Thursdays, Jared and I. We also have Trip Tales, which is on Mondays once a month. I will have a new Trip Tales coming out next Monday, so look for that. If you want to be a guest on a future Trip Tales episode, you can go to ctmtriptales.com and fill out the information about your trip. And if your trip is something I am interested in learning more about, I will contact you. And just FYI, I like to remind people that do want to do this, you have to have not taken your trip yet whenever you submit your information. If this is a past trip you're wanting to do it about, I will not accept it for a multitude of reasons, but just FYI. So if you don't get chosen because you put it in for a past trip, that's why. So.
If you try, Jamie will just say, "No!"
I will not.
She won't yell about it.
I'll just be like, "Oh man," and then move on.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget to check out Club 32.
Yeah, if you want even more content, additional content, behind the scenes, if you want a private Facebook group with just some other members of Club 32, you can check out Club 32. It's like our own Patreon. And in there, we've got a private podcast feed. We have weekly live streams. We have cooking live streams. We have live streams in the parks. I mean, we're in Epic Universe. I'm sure we'll be doing live streams like crazy when we're there to check that out, whether previews or when the park opens. You also get 20% off of CTM Apparel and 1901 Candle Company products year-round all the time. Private Facebook group. There will be a Discord working on the details of getting that all set up. And, just a lot more access. And, again, it's a good brain trust if you're looking to go. There's a lot of people in these, in the group that go constantly to the park. So if you got questions about, like, restaurants or things to do, it's a great group to rely on there because you got a lot of first-hand knowledge on different methods and different ideas on what to do there. So if you want to check it out, you can go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options. If you want to do if you want to do a monthly option, you can even do a free trial to try that out. If you want to do a yearly, you can get a free t-shirt. So either way, you do get something for free. So either way, but check that out. If you want to join there, go to ctmvip.com. And if you'd like to join, we would love to have you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening or watching. And thank you, Jared, for being here, even though you don't feel good.
I feel good.
Okay.
My coughing is just making random appearances.
Well, anyway, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And as I always like to say, we will see you in the parks.
Bye.
Happy Valentine's Day.